Hello everyone and welcome to the Moose Kicks YouTube channel. I'm Jake, aka Moose, and today I'll be showing you how I make my brand merch, plus a way for you to win a free pair of custom shoes later on in this video. Let's get started. Like I mentioned in the intro, today's video will be a step-by-step look at how I make clothing for Moose Kicks, and you can definitely use this information yourself if you wanted to start your own clothing line. Moose Kicks started as only doing custom sneakers and footwear, but I've always been inspired by clothing design and love branching out my creativity. The clothing game is still fairly new to me, and most of my designs are based around my logo, like this t-shirt, but I've been messing around with some designs and I'm super excited for some of the stuff that I have planned for the future. Alright, let's get into this video, what you came here to see, and some information on that giveaway I was talking about earlier. With all my designs, they either start at the computer or iPad. I make my designs primarily on Photoshop and Procreate, but there's definitely other ways you can make your designs. I know that GIMP is a very popular free alternative for Photoshop. Here's the design that we're going to be making in today's video. It was part of my Winter 2020 drop, which all were themed around video games. One of them is this cool Among Us themed shirt where you can customize the name and color of the character, and another is the Moose Kicks text in a Super Mario type font. But back to the insert coin design, where we go from here is the Cricut Design Space app. Cricut is the brand of the machine that I use to cut out the vinyl for my shirts and stencils for my custom shoes. And those aren't the only uses for the machine. It can do a bunch of things like cut out car decals, you can print out stickers and cut them out on the Cricut, or you can even write a birthday card. The machine that I use is the Cricut Explore Air, and it's their most popular machine because it does the essentials. It cuts, scores, and writes. The only things that I would need for my business. The website lists them at $249.99, but you can find them at Michael's or Walmart for cheaper. What I did on Photoshop was save this design as two separate PNG images so there'd be transparent backgrounds. One was the black portions of this design and the other was the yellow. I uploaded it as two separate images because it's easier to set the layers when you have it as separate images. To cut the design out, when you have it all ready and saved as two separate images, you put it into their Design Space app, which you can do on the computer or through their app, which can be really convenient when the app decides to work. Once you're logged onto the Design Space, you would select to create a new project, and it gives you an option to upload images. I upload the two images, the black and the yellow, and change the layer colors to match. Once you have your design ready and sized how you'd like, you would select Make. One super important step when you're working with heat transfer vinyl like we are here is mirroring your project. This is a really important step because technically you're cutting on the back of the vinyl, and that'll make a little more sense when we get to putting the vinyl onto the mat. Cricut does have their own line of heat transfer vinyl, or HTV for short, but I prefer Caesar brand heat transfer vinyl. Caesar is sold in rolls of 12 by 36, and they can range anywhere from $18 to $25. For example, this regular gray was around $18 because it's just a regular color, but if you want something metallic or reflective, which is my favorite, that can go up to about $25. You can almost always find a coupon to buy it a little bit cheaper in store, but I've found that buying it by the foot from an authorized Caesar reseller is a little bit cheaper and it saves you a lot of money in the long run. An important thing to note here when setting up your mat with HTV, there's a shiny side and a matte side. You want to put the shiny side down on the mat because the shiny side is the plastic carrier and you need that piece to stay intact. You're cutting on the back of it like I mentioned earlier. Let's run this black through the Cricut and I'll show you how it works. When you go to start your project, this button right here will be flashing, and that button is to pull in the mat. Before you do that though, you'll have to make sure that the wheel is selected to the iron-on setting. You click the button, it pulls it in, and then the next button will blink. Once you click that button, the project starts to cut. Let's go over the giveaway while we wait for this to finish cutting. The giveaway that we're doing is very much inspired by this design. As you've seen, it says insert coin for custom shoes with that little coin underneath. Well, from today, February 19th to March 20th, every order for this design in a shirt or hoodie will have a chance to get this with their order. This little guy is the same token from the design, and if you get this in your order, you'll win a free custom shoe job from me on any pair of shoes. You'll have two options. You can either send me a pair of shoes you already have, or you can pay for a new pair and I do the custom completely free of charge. There'll be a QR code on the back that brings you to a secret page on my site, and that will get you in contact with me so that we can get you your prize. Every order with a t-shirt in this design will be 1 entry, and every order of this design in a hoodie will be 3 entries. This is a huge promotion and I'm super excited for it. To make this as even as possible, this is pretty much going to be a pre-order. You'll have just as much chance to win if you're the first person to order or the last. Once March 20th comes and goes, so will the shirt, and the design will come off of the website. So depending on how crazy this goes, your order could be done and shipped out in 2 days after this is over, or maybe even a week if a lot of people want to participate. No matter what, I'll be super transparent with you on all my socials, which I'll put on the screen now and in the description. Once the winner receives the coin and contacts me, I'll post it on my socials and on my stories so that everyone knows that someone won. Alright, that black mat has been ready for a few minutes now, so let's go over and switch it over to yellow. Now that the black is finished, we take it off and put the yellow in its place. And this one is smaller only because it's the coin that's yellow, so it'll only take a second. Now that that's done, we'll peel it off and grab our weeding tool and start pulling away the extra vinyl that we don't want. This step is a satisfying one, so we put the shiny side of the vinyl down, facing away from us, and use this tool here in the corner to pick up the vinyl. Then, we'll pull it back and watch the design come to life. Now that we have the cutouts ready, including my Moose Kicks Apparel logo that goes on all my clothes, this one being a pixel theme to match the rest, we'll get the shirt ready to be pressed on. To apply the HTV to the shirt, what I have here is a heat press. Now, do you need a heat press to do projects like this? No. You could just use a regular old home iron, and that's what I did when I first started doing this, making stuff for my friends and family. Of the clothes that I made using the iron and still wear, they're holding up just as well as the ones I made with the heat press, so don't feel like you have to go out and get one of these to start. What I like to do first when putting the garment onto the press is pressing it down for a couple seconds so it gets out any wrinkles or creases, because those are definitely enemy number one when it comes to any heat transfer project. Now that I have a clean, flat surface to work with, let's start with the black. The settings that Caesar recommends you to use when heat pressing the regular HTV is around 320 degrees for 20 seconds. If you're using a home iron, you'll just crank it to the linen setting and apply firm pressure for 20 seconds over your design. In this particular case, since I'm layering colors, I'm going to do something a little different. What I'm going to do is tap it down for a couple seconds just like this, and I'm using a piece of parchment paper as the heat carrier so the press isn't directly on the plastic or directly on the shirt. Just those couple seconds is enough for the HTV to stay on the shirt, but definitely isn't fully bonded yet. Now with the yellow, the same thing, you put it down for just a couple seconds. Now that the plastic is off, I'm going to press it down for the full 20 seconds so it fully bonds to the shirt. The reason I did short taps like that is because when you heat press materials like cotton, it will slightly shrink. Not a lot, but enough to throw off a design like this one where I need the yellow to sit perfectly next to the black. So doing the short taps like that helps me get the design fully together before giving the final bonding press. And after that's done, you could be done, but I add one more thing to each piece, and that's this logo on the arm. I wanted to show you this step because one thing with the heat press is you need to have a flat surface so that the heat is evenly distributed across the plate. So when you're trying to do shirts like this and there's seams that could mess with that, here's the solution. These are called heat press pillows, and you can find them on Amazon, but these ones were made by my fiance and they work perfectly. So you put the pillow just like this, and I do the same thing as the front and press it down and flatten the surface. And since the pillow is there, you might have to adjust your pressure settings. But now your press should be hitting the square where the pillow is and nowhere else. And just like that, we have a finished shirt. Let's take it outside and check it out. And that's how you bring your design to life, starting out with a cool idea and finishing it off with a really awesome looking shirt. Hopefully you got something out of this, maybe learned a little something and inspired you to start making your own stuff. Once again, this giveaway will be running from today until March 20th. Every order for a shirt will be 1 entry and sweatshirt will be 3. First link in the description will be straight to the t-shirt, and I'll put the sweatshirt link right underneath it. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the future with this. This is a very new thing for me, and if you want to see more instructional videos, I can definitely do more of that, or if you want more time-lapse painting videos like my last 2, I can do that too. That's going to do it for me today. Thank you for watching all the way through, and if you get a t-shirt or hoodie, best of luck on getting that coin.